Look up from your telescope, take me on this journey home. I don't wanna wait no more.
Hey, y'all, it's your good sis, Erica Vane, back again with another amazing All-American video. And in this video, we are breaking down episode 18. Y'all, we only got one more episode left this season. Let's get into it. All right, so let's go ahead and get this elephant out the room real quick. If you haven't already, be sure to hit the subscribe button. All of the subbies know that when the new episodes drop, I go into the community tab and I'll put up a post for everyone to do their initial responses, reactions, tell me what they think of what they feeling, give all the spoilers. Because I'm on the West Coast, I typically watch it after most of my subscribers because a lot of y'all are on the East Coast, but that gives you a place to like let me know what you're thinking. And then right after the episode, I will pop on there and see what y'all was thinking, see how y'all was feeling and all that kind of stuff. And we're gonna go ahead and get the elephant out the room because yes, Antonio, yes, Anaya, yes, Naomi all told me that this was going to happen, but it doesn't stop the pain, okay? It doesn't stop the pain. It doesn't stop the fact that I am hurting. This is the beginning of the end of Jermone. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in this video for sure. But just know that I feel away. Like, I totally feel away. But starting out at the top of the episode, we see Spencer and the Crenshaw crew working out in the weight room. They have 2 weeks left until the championship game against Beverly Hills, and they're starting to feel the pressure. Not only are they feeling the pressure of, okay, we're competing for the state championship, which is already like all the pressure that they actually need, but we are also reminded that, if they don't win this game, then South Crenshaw is going to get shut down and turn to charter school, basically really disrupt the community. And the reason why that's a problem, y'all, is because not all of the students who are attending that school now can attend the school after it gets converted. The way the gentrification works is they change certain things in the community by trying to improve things at like increase property value, revamp, and all that kind of stuff. But it winds up creating a situation where the people who were originally living in that space or living in that community can no longer afford to live there, can no longer maintain what they have going on. And gentrification works against a lot of minority communities because it winds up creating spaces where the people who are originally from a neighborhood get pushed out, mainly because of financial reasons. They think about it as, oh, it's a rejuvenation, or it is helping this particular piece of property or this particular piece of a city because it brings in, more money into the neighborhood, but yet you displace all these other people who were originally here. So that's the reason why it's a problem. That's the reason why the school getting converted to a charter school will be a problem, because again, the people who are currently going to South Crenshaw won't be able to necessarily attend, or not all of them. And South Crenshaw doesn't seem to be a bad school. Like, Spencer got a great education from there. Coop, she chose not to this season. She decided to leave, but she seems to have a good education from there. Patience, Kia, all of them. So the fact that students like them wouldn't necessarily be able to access that type of education anymore after this happens, that's why this was all a problem. And our football team is feeling it. This was Jabari's little breakout little episode. Like, he got much more lines in this episode. We were able to see Simeon's acting chops really come out. Like, you could tell that he was really affected. Jabari is really affected by the pressure of being in a state championship. This is his first season. Y'all gotta remember, Jabari, he is fresh out of juvie, back in school. He has a moment which I love that he shares with Spencer, telling Spencer like he's so grateful that he decided to be nosy because everybody else had given up on him, and that's what was pushing his feelings in the beginning of like making him lash out about the pressure of everything going on. He really just wants to be a teen in high school and have fun, because not even just that they have to win this in that moment or he's thinking that in this moment for the school, but Jabari has been robbed of his childhood period, just in that he made a mistake. He had the whole little bling ring thing and was sent to juvie. So he's already had to grow up quick. He's already been out of school. He's already, had moments where he wasn't able to just be a teen and enjoy it. So I think it's even heavier when you think about it like that, in reference to the weight that's on his shoulders. And if y'all missed it, check out my video about Jabari and Layla. I did a video a while ago talking about if Jabari was actually one of the people who robbed Layla last season. And if you want to know a little bit more about that storyline, jump into that video. I'll have it linked in the cards above in the description box down below. But moving on, Spencer, receives it. Billy hears it and all of that, even though Billy's still pissed. He's like, y'all fumbling, y'all ain't with it. That's why I got y'all in here 5 o'clock in the morning working out. And it was really interesting to see how Billy navigated this episode, but we gonna talk about that. And Spencer uses this to take this chip and put it on his shoulder, put everything back on his back, and he feels away. And it's so unfortunate, like the way that everything played out. Well, I mean, I guess it's not unfortunate because it was written this way, but it was written beautifully this way because Spencer kind of like goes from receiving that from his team, not knowing what he's going to do, and realizing like, yo, Jabari's right, this is too much pressure, to walking in on Grace and the dang on pressure maker kissing all up on her neck. Sir, this is the living room, the dining room. This is step back, give us some space. All up on Miss Grace. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. Grace and Carter do look really good together, and we see that throughout the rest of the episode. But I totally understood Spencer's smoke for him, and I think that Spencer, while we get a little peek of angry man Spencer, he's definitely a lot more controlled and a lot more mild. He was just valid in a lot of the things that he said, and that is why Carter was able to make the decisions that he made. I hate to say I told you so, but since y'all telling me y'all told me so about Jamon, I'm gonna tell y'all I told you so about Carter. I knew that Carter was gonna wind up being the ally that we talked about in the episode 18 synopsis breakdown, that he was going to be the ally that Billy and the football team needed, because ultimately he decides to pitch to the board to let him stay on as permanent principal, and then he utilized all of the things that they have done this season or the school year to his advantage to communicate to the school board like, we've already turned the school around, so we don't need to turn it into a charter school. So thank God for that. I'm trying to understand why it took Carter having Spencer get in his butt before he did that, because sir, this should have already been the plan as soon as you decided to slide in Miss Grace text messages. You should have been on the phone with the freaking school board the next day like, oh, I need my woman, so I'm gonna have to keep the school how we got it going for real. But better late than never, I suppose, and it's allowed for Carter and Spencer to have a moment where they were able to bond. I think Spencer in this episode got to know Carter a lot better, even though he was able to express himself very strongly in reference to his dislike for Carter at the very beginning. I do think that this episode Spencer was able to hear Carter, receive Carter, and now accept Carter. It's interesting to see how Grace and Carter's relationship will play out now that there's really no tension or nothing in the way. We saw something similar to when Grace was dating Micah, right? Like Spencer had a little attitude at first, like, oh, you date all your students, and then after a while Spencer was asking like, where's Micah? He was all for it, and then that wound up being Grace that messed it up. So we're gonna see what they do with Grace and Carter moving forward in season 4. But for right now, they giving lovey-dovey, they giving cute, they giving, oh, we deserve to be happy, and I'm here for it. Y'all, let me just go ahead and go here now, because when I tell you, I actually posted an Insta story with like just the sound my reaction to me cackling when Spencer told Patience and Coop that him and Liv talked and they just realized that they just made out a party. It was no big deal. They are just friends, blah, 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 blah. I was like, oh my God, y'all really finna do this? Oh, y'all really finna do this? And I just knew, I was like, oh my gosh, all y'all Spelivians are going to be upset. And I posted it on my Insta story. If you're not already, go ahead and follow your girl, Erica Vane, on Instagram at ericavane.com. As well as on Twitter, because I'll be popping on there and, like I said, responding in the moment, talking with y'all, answering DMs and all that jazz. It really threw me, and I was just like, well, it didn't really throw me, actually. I just laughed because I was just like, all right, y'all, now y'all on some BS, but I kind of expected it. Like I told y'all last episode I broke down, I'm not getting too excited because these Fridays like to play with our hearts. They like to play with our minds, and it just be making me want to throw hands. So when that happened, I just cackled so hard because I was like, oh, we really going to be on this Spelivia roller coaster for a little bit longer. However, we wind up getting to the end of the episode and we see Olivia make a strong choice, and she decides that she's going to pursue this relationship with Spencer, that she can do it and maintain her sobriety journey and her recovery. And honestly, y'all, that was the moment I was waiting to see. I know this was it was probably the shortest scene of the entire episode, but out of the entire season, season, when I'm speaking about or was speaking about if Spencer and Olivia were ready to be together, what was going on with them, how I wanted Olivia to even out and to stabilize, this is exactly what I was talking about. I needed Olivia to be able to show me that her sobriety was the number one priority, and she was able to cultivate a life with meaningful connections and, deeply in love and still very convicted and passionate about different things, but not so much to the point that she would compromise her own health, well-being, and sobriety. And the Olivia that we were seeing earlier in the season, y'all, she was so erratic, she was so passionate, she was so on the edge that a lot of times I do believe that, which we saw, like, her sobriety became an afterthought or not a thought at all, which is how she actually ended up relapsing, and which is how after she relapsed, she was able to just throw herself into all of these other things. Because in all honesty, her sobriety not only should come before Spencer or any other romantic relationship, it should come before any of these friendships, which is why I had a conversation recently about if Layla and Olivia should be friends. And my number one reason, if you haven't already, check out that video. It'll be linked in the cards above in the description box down below. I got a lot of videos for y'all to check out as we go into the season finale, because listen, it's gonna be good. But in that video, my number one issue is that if Layla is going to have Carrie around, that could potentially disrupt or trigger Olivia, because Carrie is so trifling and so disrespectful. That could trigger her to make a misstep by way of her sobriety journey. And for me, that's not an option. So again, sobriety over Spencer, sobriety over friendship, sobriety even over family. Sobriety is the number one thing. Like, Olivia needs to be the number one thing in Olivia's life. And too often this season, we have seen her make so many other things the number one thing in her life. Asher, Layla, there was a moment for Spencer, then Tamika, like all of these other things. And now I feel like we're finally arriving at a place that she realizes the importance of herself, of her recovery, of her mental health and well-being. And now that she can actually identify that and be accountable to that, now she can add additional things on her plate, because she realizes that this is the bulk, right? This is the main dish. Now she can add the side dishes. So you can add a little Spencer, you can add a little Layla, you can add certain things. And then it is even more beneficial that now Spencer has gone through his own journey of realizing how to put up boundaries, how to put himself first, and how to identify things in relationships. So he's also a much healthier partner now that they're trying to get together, and he can see different things as they arise, whether it's on her end or his end, and help to make sure that they both keep what's supposed to be priority. Does that make sense? Anyway, I said all that to say that is what I was looking for this entire time. So I know some of y'all struggle with me saying that they weren't ready to be together, but it wasn't until this moment that I feel like they are actually ready to be together. And those are my reasons why. It's just unfortunate that they were able to get together spurred by Jermone's second wedding, which Jermone don't actually go through with. Let's just go ahead and talk about it, because this really makes me sad, y'all. This episode does not rank high for me because I really feel away, because I really wanted Jermone to get married again. Like, I wanted them to make it super official. They're already married, but I wanted them to make it super official with this public grand gesture of a wedding, a full-on, my family's there and supporting, and this is what we're doing. And I knew that this was going to happen, because that's what makes sense in writer land, and that's, what they were actually laying out. But I just hoped they went a different route. And in all honesty, y'all know Simone and Jordan are not broken up, but they're on their way. I totally understand the conversation around them not getting remarried. So Simone decides to say that they don't need to get remarried, because if they got married, then she would not be able to convince him to not give up his life in California and follow her. And she makes a freaking valid point of like, yo, I love you so much that I don't want you to give up your dreams. You love me so much that you don't want me to give up my dreams. And yes, what Jordan says at the end, when he says Simone thinks that we would sacrifice too much if we were still married or got remarried. I understand that. But the fact that y'all are articulating that, then you know that's something that you can look out for. Then you can actively make a decision to not do that. To me, it is not easier for you to make the long distance work or to get through it if you have less of a commitment to each other. So you had me until you lost me. Make it make sense. And in all honesty, I feel like Jordan is just going along with whatever Simone's saying because he did want to get remarried. And you could tell he was crushed just by how, when she started to break it down to him, how he looked. And the fact that the dialogue says at the end, he's like, Simone thinks such and such and such and such. That tells me that you don't think it too, but you're going to go along with it, which already reinforces the disconnect. Like, I can't. Like, they literally took the most stable couple in the whole dang on show and just threw them in the trash, and I'm pissed about it. And yes, I said what I said. They were the most stable couple in the show, including these dang on parents. Jordan and Simone had the most solid relationship, the most honest relationship, the most communicative relationship, the most healthy relationship on this show. I don't care what y'all saying about his sweaters, about his corny swag. Jordan was comfortable in his relationship and loved Simone down. We love to see it. You do not need all that glitz, glamour, charm, and all that extra stuff when the love is real. That's all I'm gonna say. But y'all can jump in the comment section and say your piece. But I still said what I said. Now in this episode, we also get two very big keys to information surrounding other plot points that I feel like they have neglected all season. Well, not necessarily Layla and Carrie, but they definitely have been neglecting the Mo Coop storyline, and we definitely get a little bit of a tea about that. And in this episode, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead out there and say that Amina is not Preach's child. I've already said that before, but another thing I want to add on to that is that I don't think that Amina is Mo's child either. That is a paid actor. That little girl is not either one of their children. That little girl is doing this whole, get to know my daddy and be all smart act way too well. She's not emotional enough to have not known her daddy for 10 years. Like, it's giving me all wrong. It's giving me all stage. It's giving me Mo, this is part of her plan. But it's also giving me even more disgust with Mo because, sis, this is way too intricate of a plan and a plot for a dang on teenager. You need to be ashamed of yourself. She need to go cut a switch. Go ahead, Mo. Go get me a switch. Because I done had enough. She literally has planted a fake child in Preach's life, all with the premise of what? So that you can get Preach away from Coop. You could have kidnapped him for that, sis. He could be sitting in the back of an unmarked van on Sepulveda for all that, if we gonna do it. Like, why are we, like... Y'all, this whole Preach, Coop, and Mo storyline is on my nerves. Preach wound up taking Mo's suggestion of putting Andre on the merch booth. So see, he's sending Andre alone with Coop to Vegas for this dang on tour. But come to find out, Layla's actually going. So Lord help us, because now Layla and Coop is in danger. All because Preach too blinded by his not daughter and his simple ex. Like, I just can't. And then the biggest thing for me is like, okay, all of this is happening, something's gonna happen to Coop, like Mo's gonna try something, but for what, sis? Mo, you have been laying this trap for 8 months. For why, sis? Because you said that your brother was killed, but Coop didn't pull the trigger because of eye for eye? You go out and get a child actor, you help Patience get out of her contract, you help Coop indirectly fight for justice for Tamika, you doing all other types of hood charity work, all so that you can get this 18-year-old girl back. In what way? At this point, sis, I wish you would have just pulled a gun out in Slauson Cafe and get on with it. If you want to take the girl out, take your best shot, but make it quick and get on with it. Not that I want Coop to die, y'all, because I don't think that Coop is going to die. I don't even think that Coop is going to wind up getting hurt, because Mo's doing all this dang on planning, and if it's something super treacherous, it's going to fail, because sis, you didn't even wait it too long. How about that? You're dumb, your plan is dumb, and I'm over it. Y'all let me know in the comment section down below what y'all think about Mo and what the heck is coming next, because I just gave y'all a whole rant that didn't really give y'all much information, but just know I feel she's dumb. Yeah, shout out to Preach. When he made that joke about Coop being Kevin Hart, I was rolling. Make sure y'all watch the episode, because it's actually a pretty good episode. It's just dampened for me by the whole lack of Jermone love happening. It just, And before I actually get off of Preach, can somebody help me understand why he can't leave LA? Because he got a daughter now. So parents don't travel. Parents don't take their kids on business trips. Why exactly can't he go on this Minnie went to tour in Vegas, which is like a week. Like, you ain't been in this girl life for 10 years. You can't go a week, bro. All right, let me move on because I will definitely camp out there and then I'm going to start giving everybody a million because all of them in that whole situation is stupid if you ask me. Let's talk about Layla. First of all, Layla was absolutely drop dead gorgeous this entire episode. I don't know what that, well, she's been pretty, period. But after, I swear to goodness, y'all, after Layla laid Spencer out in that daggone hangout, sis got the fleekiest that she has ever been. Sis has not missed a look. Sis's makeup has been on point. And I'm not trying to say that it's because of Spencer. I'm just saying Layla has just been looking extra amazing. And in this episode, she did not disappoint. So there's two things I want to talk about with Layla. I'm going to talk about Layla and Jordan second because y'all are trying it. And that's probably going to be another rant. Let's talk about Layla and Carrie. Thank God she's finally waking up. She finally is seeing what is actually happening. She's starting to get suspicious. She's catching the crazy. Okay, she's catching the crazy that Carrie has been kicking off since she arrived at her door, and now she's about to kick it out. And I'm totally here for it. Layla calls Carrie's mom and finds out that her mom has been looking for her, and then her mom confirms something that we already know. My daughter's not well. Sis, we know. How did you lose track of her? Where's y'all's leash? What is going on? Because you have a menace to society running amok, and we finna hold you accountable. Something happened to Layla, we suing. Know that. This is Beverly Hills. I'ma sue out you. Sorry. I'm really excited that Layla is waking up though. I'm very excited that the fog is lifting and we see that in this episode. But before we see that in this episode, we see a nice little tender moment between Layla and Jordan. And y'all, they have had these moments. I do not think that this is some kind of long game for Jayla. I don't want to see Jayla happen. As much as I don't want to see Damone and I want Jamone to make it, I would take Damone before I took Jayla. I do not want Jayla in a million years. Drop down in the comment section down below if you are one of those people who are shipping Jordan and Layla. Go ahead, tell me, be honest. You can tell me. I'm just gonna look at you sideways, but we still friends. But anyway, they have this special moment where Jordan is able to reveal a little bit to her about how he really feels and some of the decisions that he just made with Simone, because he decides that he's going to go to Brixton once Simone tells him that she wants to go to Brixton. And Layla's like, well, what about your plans? What about what you wanted to do and all of that? Like, don't just give up what you want for Simone. And again, they have a nice little moment. They do have a connection. I do think that Layla and Jordan have a really good friendship. And I don't want that to be tainted by them trying to be in a relationship. Not to mention how messy that is. Like, that is just taking this toxic, messy mess and then making it even more. Like, is there any level that we can get to where it just stops? I think that's the stopping before Jayla is what needs to happen. And at this point, I can't tell if y'all are just shipping anybody with anybody or if you're actually picking up on things that I'm missing out on, but I don't see it. Yes, I do think that they're both really great looking people. Yes, they have a certain chemistry that I think is very friendly and comforting and home-like, but every time a guy is nice to you or smiles at you or reassures you or simply kind does not mean that he wants to be with you or needs to sleep with you. The same with the girl. Like, there can be some platonic relationships out here. Some really great ones. Can we let Jordan and Layla be that, please? And since I did mention Layla looking absolutely amazing, I don't want that to say that nobody else did, because everybody looked exquisite. Honestly, Olivia has understood the assignment when it came to hair and makeup this entire season. It has just been next level, and I greatly appreciate it, because they were trying me in season 1, and I was just not feeling how they had her looking at some points. But season 3, no matter if she was going crazy, being ridiculous, fighting for justice, falling off the wagon, Olivia always looked amazing. So, and that did not change in this episode. Shout out to the little best man woman getting her Slayer look on. And then I thought that Simone, oh my gosh, Simone looks so gorgeous in that wedding dress and her natural hairstyle. It was just truly a dream. Truly a dream. Even Miss Grace was shutting it down. Like, you know what? Every single woman actually in the whole episode Grace was shutting it down. You know, Laura will give you cheeks and a lip, honey, and she was just, yeah, she understood the assignment. She got her husband back. And we see how you did that. You was looking great, ma'am. You was looking great. And also on a lighter note, we find out what was the deal with JJ being on those Las Vegas posters back where we saw the Vegas episode. JJ misses the wedding this week because he's actually in Vegas, and Asher revealed that JJ goes to Vegas once a month and has been doing so since the summer, dancing. That's why he was on the little bus billboard when we saw Olivia run out on Spencer. Child, a mess. I cannot with JJ. How do you even find a time, sir? And I want to take a second to talk about Coop, but before I jump into what happened with her in this episode, All American is making a call for people to make reels and remix reels and talk about their family, and I would love to do that with you. There's a link in the description box to a Dropbox where you can upload a video of yourself just vibing, and I would love for you to submit yourself so that we can put together, so Team Vane and I can put together a video where I'm going to post it and send it to the CW and tell them how y'all are my family, how y'all are my friends, how we embody Coop's song, and I think it could be really, really cool to put that compilation together. I will, of course, post it on my Instagram and again share it with the CW, submit it to them, and who knows, it could be really something cool for us all to do to commemorate this season. So head down to the link in the description box and submit your short video clip of yourself so that I can include it in my reel for family. We get the tie up of Coop actually gets her GED. She passed the test. She's prepared for tour. And a lot of her storyline was just grounded in other people. We get to see that her and Spencer are back better than ever, back to normal. They're talking at the top of the episode. Strongest parts of her story in this episode come from her confronting Preach about not telling her about Amina and keeping it from her and basically hiding it and not necessarily communicating, because she completely understands that he can't go because he has a daughter and he just found out about this. And honestly, Coop just wished that Preach would have been honest with her so that she could support him the way that he has support her, which totally makes sense. And they have their little tender moment. Coop gets to meet Amina. We also get a little bit of Patience in this episode. I am so looking forward to seeing more of Patience in season 4. We didn't get to see much of her this season because of them filming with the pandemic, having things pushed back, and she was pregnant. So it really just threw timelines off, but I'm really, really excited to see Chelsea back as Patience and get more of her. Yeah, so I guess we cool with Tamia again. Naya, can we call her Coop moving forward? We done with Tamia? Y'all let me know down in the comment section down below if we moving on and letting Coop live now. And on another light note, Jordan has got to be the most clueless dude I have ever seen. He don't know nothing. He didn't know nothing that was happening with Olivia, and they have been twins and living in the same house all of their lives. He was completely lost when Asher outs Billy and Laura, basically saying that he could tell that they have been hooking up and seeing each other, and Jordan is completely oblivious. Meanwhile, Olivia's like, yeah, he ain't slick. He been sneaking in and out the house. Jordan, what do you be doing in this house? How do you not know nothing ever? Like, ever, sir? We need some explanations. But y'all, that is my full breakdown of episode 18, International Players Anthem, I Choose You. As I predicted, y'all, it was all about love, connections, a little bit of breakups, or a little bit of kind of, sort of, we still good. And it is the last episode before the finale. Next week will be the finale of season 3. All American season 3 will be on Netflix on July 27th. We are going to start rewatches again. Y'all, I think we're going to pick up on the 27th. We're going to pick up with episode 9 of season 2, and then the following Saturday, so we're going to try to do 2 episodes a night until that Saturday, and then on Saturday, July 31st, that's when we will do episode 1, and we'll start with season 3, because in the last rewatches during the first hiatus, we made it halfway through the season 2, so I want to finish up season 2, and then on July 31st, we will be in season 3 and start the rewatch for that. Y'all, I gotta prepare myself because I think I'm still even gonna be emotional with this rewatch. If you want to join the rewatch, get down into the description box down below and check that link out. I got a bunch of links down there, y'all. So in this video, I know I mentioned a bunch of things, but everything that you need to know to submit or to sign up or whatever is in the description box down below. Be sure to take time to check it out. Also, I am working on a thank you video, a celebration video, and a You're Awesome video for the cast and crew of All American. If you would like to submit a video for that to be included in that overall video, then please, please, please send me a video where you are thanking the cast and crew of All American and mentioning one of your favorite moments or things from this season in particular. So in a video, you're going to do those two things, and then you're going to take that video and you're going to click the link in the description box and upload it. So that's how you submit it. I know I had a few of you guys email me. If you've already emailed me, we're going to email you the link as well so that we can get all of that done and put together a really amazing video for them. I also have another secret project in the works, so if you are an actor or a screenwriter, stay tuned. I'm also going to put a link there for you to submit your information so that we can reach out, because I have a really cool idea, but I don't want to announce it just yet, and I would love to include you all in it. So if you are an actor or a screenwriter, there's also a link in the description box for you to check out and submit yourself. All right? It's your girl Erica Vane. I'm posting new All American videos every day, sometimes twice a day, and you should really join the tribe by hitting subscribe. I promise you're gonna love it here. Yo, your good sis is pushing almost 200 videos, yo. Like I'm past 160 videos, I know for sure. I haven't checked before I filmed this, so there's so much All American content on here. How could you not love it? How could you not get into it? Make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you can be a part of the crew. Also, like the video because you made it all the way to the end and I know you liked it. And now I really need you to put these emojis in your comments so that I know that you're a real one, because this video is one of the longest ones that I have ever done. And if you have these emojis in the comment section when you post your comment, I am definitely going to respond and I'm going to know that you were a real one. Go ahead and put 4 tongue out emojis in your comment so I know that you were a real one. I'm going to show you some extra special real love. If you missed any of my All American videos, I got my All About All American playlist link for you right here. Get into it. And as always, I got 2 suggestions for some other series that we are covering that I think that you will love as well. Get into those. I'm going to see you in my next one. Bye.